Hey everybody, what's up? Let's take a look at this new moon or full moon in Leo. I'm pretty excited about this one. It looks like an activator. I've been really feeling this moon come in, um, particularly the last 3 days as soon as it made its way into Cancer. Um, so boom, boom, boom. That was what was going on yesterday when it made its conjunction with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. Kind of activated some things for me personally about safety in the home, these reflections that I keep having. Beautiful things about thinking about the wisdom that nourishes. Jupiter can be expansion into new ways of thinking, new modes of thought, but also new places of learning and interacting in the world in a way that will bring wisdom. So when you have that emotional thing, it was just a really nice, cozy day, Friday night into um, today. And so we'll get there exact at 2:10 p.m. on February 1st, which is Imbolc, Brigade's Day. It's the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So this feels like a really good place to mark your halfway point of your winter reflection. So what has winter been for you? Has it been hibernation? Has it been a lot of work? Has it been an inward reflection? We can think about Capricorn season being that parade of planets across Capricorn, and really some interesting things going on with the plan, the goal, the resources to get you there where you're going. What's really interesting about a lot of these months are from essentially from Capricorn onward. So we had boom, a whole bunch of Capricorn, right? And then now we've got boom, a whole bunch of Aquarius, and then we're gonna get Pisces and Aries coming together March and April. And so it's a really concentrated dose of inner planet energy in a specific sign. And so it's really a great way to work with astrology because you're getting kind of like an espresso shot of each sign. And that's really fun. For me personally, this heavy dose of Aquarius has been a lot of really incredible ideas, some out of the box stuff, some innovative stuff, some revolutionary stuff in my world, but also very attached to the plans that I was creating, the things that I was cooking up, the resources that I was kind of laying all out on the table in Capricorn season. And I think in this Leo moon, there's going to be this moment where you have all of this Aquarius, right? And then you've got this Leo moon activating and reflecting back. Well, how does this emotionally serve you? How does this help you fulfill maybe this creativity or this shine that you need emotionally? Emotional creativity. Leo moons, I think a lot about being recognized for this fiery way of being there for other people, fixed fire, right? Or being there for yourself. And I think especially in Aquarius, right now, looking at what's going on in the world, you can see kind of like the chaos, the confusion, the I'm not going to say it, but the conflict. I'm not going to go into all these little the words. The word that everybody keeps using is civil war, right? Um, we've seen this cycle play out and it's going to continue to play out. And it's really interesting to think about what revolution is to a lot of different people, or maybe what, not necessarily revolution, but change in the way that they need or that fixes them into some form of security. And I think this moon is just blasting that wide open, right? What change do you need that's going to help you find your fixed emotional steadiness? And for me personally, it's been a big reflection on how I show up on the internet. I'm just not enthused at all to be on certain places, in certain places. And so what I'm doing is shifting focus to figure out where. I want to be working. And in a very Aquarian way, I'm saying, well, what's outside of the norm? What's different? Now that I've spent my couple past years just playing around with different platforms, working with different people, creating different written works, recorded works, various things like that. What is my Aquarian thing that, when we move into this Piscean thing, I'm going to start testing it in these waters. Um, and then when we get to Aries, I think there's a very good chance I'll be launching it. So this is how it works sometimes on a personal level, right? Personal level for me is thinking about the depths, especially with Pluto here. There's a lot of personal work going on right now. We've had every one of these personal planets cross over Pluto. This might have been now Pluto is the guardian of the underworld. It's the gatekeeper. He's the psychopomp that helps you cross the river Styx into Hades. And Pluto has this underworld power, right? But you have to go down there and you have to find it. And those depths can be painful to dredge through. You might get down there and find you've got quite the swamp. You might also get down there and find that you've got this incredible wealth of resources. You might strike gold when you do your Pluto work. And maybe looking back on the past 2 or 3 weeks, there might have been this intellectual rigor or intensity. I know for me, that's been the case of going through what the things in your life that you're planning or that you're looking to put into action actually do to serve you on a certain level. And with these planets where they are, especially with this Neptune, Saturn moving here, this shift that's occurred from Pisces to Aries, there's a real skin shedding, death, rebirth thing going on. There's uncertainty in the world. There's always going to be a certain form of uncertainty in the world, but the fog and the confusion and the chaos are very loud right now. What better time to find safety and security in yourself? What better time to train utilizing these cycles and tools of astrology? Because if astrology teaches us nothing at all, it teaches us how to be in line with the seasons, how to understand that things are cyclical, come back around, and how to read this wheel of time and symbol. So the opportunity here is a lot of Aquarian work of thinking about what on a mental state can I fix my mind on that will allow me to innovate in a way that serves my creativity, my emotional needs, my personal sovereignty. I think that's a big one right now. And I think there's some things going on in the next few days as Uranus stations direct. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. He'll be direct, or they'll be direct on Wednesday, where there might be a sudden aha moment, or the clouds break and the lightning bolt comes down as the moon moves past the south node in Virgo, this reorganization of the way the mind works. You can just play around with that and see what you get. So the big thing is it's a lot of fixed air, fixing the mind, focusing the mind, and reflecting on what the mind focuses on. But then there's this lunar aspect of it, which is fixed fire. So am I just fixing my mind on everything, or am I able to take action on what I'm fixing my mind on? You've got to pick certain things. You can't do it all. And with the overwhelm we experience sometimes with Aquarius, with the overwhelm of the mind just expanding into the internet, especially, I think it's being aware of what of this is serving you emotionally and what of this is really helping you keep your inner fire maintained. Maintenance feels right in this moment. And winter maintenance at the halfway point of winter, thinking about what am I looking to move into come spring? As we travel through the next few weeks, we're going to get with our next lunation an eclipse. And our eclipse is going to go down in Aquarius. And there's going to be some activation around a lot of endings and beginnings related to Aquarian themes. And we'll maybe get to that and talk about it a little later. But what I wanted to talk about mostly today is the harnessing of the fixed mental sphere, air, the utilizing it to find what's your fixed fire in your heart, maybe letting go of some things that you've overwhelmed yourself with, maybe understanding that there's parts of this journey that can't come with you. This feels like a shed, right? Of some skin moving into Neptune. There's this new dream seeding. There's this final test of Saturnian things, which can be emotional boundaries or can simply be the way you've understood the structure you've created around spirituality, transcendence, your personal practice. And then also this final phase here. So there's a lot of last bits of the journey. Um, we've got these outside planets shifting, and they've been shifting for a while now. It's been a journey that's happened all through 2025 into 2026, but you had Pluto for good into Aquarius. You've now got Neptune for good into Aries. You're going to have Uranus for good into Gemini. And from that point on, the three outer planets are going to be kind of like the collective, how we are experiencing the outer world and the shift. And we're seeing that in the world. It's a very different world, right? And the themes we're starting to get here are going to be air and fire, whereas before we had water and earth. And this shift is going to require us to get to know air and fire, or to maybe meditate on what air and fire is. And so that's exactly what we have the opportunity to do with this moon. And then you get Saturn shifting, a little bit more fire, right? And then you get Jupiter going direct. That's a little bit of a help. Move into Pisces, move into Aries. The wheel continues to turn. Life goes on. So that's what the opportunity to work with today for the astrology. I just wanted to come and do a little bit of a chat on that. And let me know in the comments how this resonates or how you're working with this new moon and what you're feeling. Maybe I'll write a little bit about it. My name is Nick. I'm an astrologer, a guide, a tarot reader, a clown, a fool, a wizard, a lot of different things. Have a beautiful day, and I wish you a restful and creative full moon. Blessings.